me, I mean, personally, as a person, yeah, absolutely. As a Muslim, yeah, absolutely. Islam allows and has permissibility if people follow that, right? If people feel that they need to hang on to like that as like, okay, because I'm a Muslim, I have to follow this to the letter, then yeah, to the letter, there is permissibility, especially when it comes to certain circumstances, especially when it comes to, certain, stages of pregnancy, etc. I think people often don't read things about Islam, and a lot of times contextually, especially when we talk about faith-based systems that are dated, people forget that there are things that are context, right? So Islamically, we have the Quran, but we also have hadith and we also have sunnah, right? So we have things that specifically we follow after the prophet, the sunnah, right? And then there are things that are hadith, things that substantiate what it is that we see in the Quran and are given a little bit more context for. People don't read all of those things to have a clear and concise ideology of what it is that Muslims believe. And then also there are different sects of Islam. So there are people who are Sunni, there are people that are Shia, there are people that, you know what I mean? And so it's not just this linear thing. I would say myself personally, and what it is that I understand about Imani B, that abortion is absolutely okay. And also, there is nothing in our book, in our text, that says that we have the right to dictate how it is that other people govern or identify themselves. I saw a post the other day where some right winger was like, yeah, just wait until you get a dog and then have a Muslim neighbor. I'm not going next door to you because you have a dog in your house to tell you you can't have a dog. If you eat bacon in your home, okay, you're not governed by my faith. And so therefore you're not beholden to my beliefs either.
Right. So that's not how Christianity works in this country. And that's not how, because I swear, because I don't even understand how the conversation of religion enters this when at the same time America says, like, we're supposed to have a separation of church and state, and yet at the same time, it is made very clear that if you're not a Christian in this country and running for office, you're going to have a hard time, Ian Omar.
They ain't even following
Rashid Tlaib. Y'all gonna have a hard time. Yeah.
Congress shall make no law establishing an official religion, nor favoring any religion in any of its in any.
So if you made the governor of California, you would make everybody follow.
It's unconstitutional to require other human beings to live by the code that you have chosen to live your life by religiously. And it's not, by the way, just unconstitutional from the standpoint of a secular United States Constitution. It's actually also anti-Quranic. The Quran's 202nd chapter, 255th verse says that akraha fid din, there is no compulsion in religion. So the reality is Muslim societies have 1,400 years provided for freedom of conscience, freedom of religious expression across time and space, and the conflation of contemporary white Western Christian nationalism with religiosity is a huge, a fundamental problem. So that there are some Muslims that think of Islam as a conservative religion, whereas for me, Islam is the basis of my radicalism. It's the basis of my anti-imperialism. It's the basis of my radical commitment to human beings' personal dignity, their sacred dignity, and their sacred dignity to choose the life that they want for themselves. That for me, that is based in my faith. It doesn't come for me from another source. That's what the Quran tells me, and that's what the tradition tells me, and I believe in that. With respect to the specific question, I marched at age 9 against domestic violence, Take Back the Night, because I'd seen my father put hands on my mother. And I marched with my mom at age 13 for two things: for the Equal Rights Amendment and for a woman's right to choose. And I've been pro-choice my entire life. And the lies that people tell about me are in, I mean, they're wild. I don't want to say insane because that's ableist. They're wild. The things that people say about me, because what apparently they've done is that they've taken me having a conversation about what Imani just mentioned, which is that in traditional Islamic thinking, literally going back to before the medieval period, abortion was considered permissible under a wide range of circumstances. Islam had by far the greatest latitude with the way that it understood abortion, and still does, for people that conceive of themselves as conservative in all of the ways. In every single legal school, it is still permissible to abort a child in order to save the health of a mother, right up to the moment of birth itself. That's unanimously accepted across all Muslim legal schools. There was never even a discussion about the permissibility of abortion before essentially 16 weeks, 100 days, because in Islamic conceptions, a soul isn't even breathed into the child until that point takes place. And that sentence that I just said, people then turn that into Butch Ware advocates for a 16-week abortion ban. Which again, I never said. I'm trying to educate people that within Islam, this is not the controversial gotcha topic that it has come to become in Christian nationalist and evangelical circles. And the reason is that Islam is not, in point of fact, this draconian medieval system that think that it is. And lastly, I'll just say with respect to because for me, trans rights issues and abortion rights issues are actually deeply connected, because they're about bodily autonomy. They're about bodily autonomy, right? They're about your sovereignty inside your body to make choices about what to do with your body medically, and that those choices belong to you, and that the only people that should be informing those decisions or shaping them are medical professionals, because you have that sovereign right to decide what happens with your body. I don't take that understanding from secular traditional sources. I actually take that understanding from my understanding of my faith. So people have a lot of misconceptions about Muslims, and it's related to that anti-Muslim bigotry. Lastly, I'll just say, out of practicing religious communities, and this is true across the board, Muslims, when polled, always have the most progressive views on LGBTQ+ questions and abortion rights. That's compared to practicing Jews, practicing Catholics, practicing Protestants, and so forth. And the reason is that it has never been inside of Muslim discourse itself the thing that it has become politicized to be within right-wing circles recently.
Yeah. Well, I want to bring on your